Exotic, invasive, and generously growing native weeds are all around us. In Florida alone, there are altogether 500 invasive species, including close to 200 of native, naturalized, or exotic plants. Although monocots are particularly troublesome and difficult to eradicate, we will discuss some terrestrial Eudicots that locally plague, overrun, and invade gardens, forests, and green spaces near our college, Valencia West Campus in Orlando, Florida. I recommend further educating yourselves on plants around that displace native growth and generally change environments for the worse. Walk around outdoors and explore that which is around you. Today we'll be taking a look at a few nuisance plants on campus here. Come on, let's go take a look. There are many who will argue that by definition a native plant cannot be invasive. This is true, yet there are many that know certain native plants grow generously, to quote Robert Bowden, the director of Harry P. Lou Gardens. I could debate the term native to some degree, but we can all agree that there are certain plants that were here when we got here within reason. Species that are introduced from other places are classified as exotic, and some spread unintentionally beyond our control once established. These plants can begin to displace the natives for various reasons, such as no natural predator in the ecosystem, a climate conducive to continual growth that doesn't exist in the plant's native habit, and so on.
It does grow generously, though. We've also got a nice little Bidens alba here. Bidens means two-tooth in Latin. The mature seed can germinate in 6 to 8 days. Bidens alba colonizes areas, dropping 3,000 to 6,000 seeds from a mature plant. Okay, well here's some seeds right down in here. And as you can see, they've got these two prongs in the end. These two prongs are what allows it to stick to people's clothing. Once they stick to clothing, there you go. Sticks to your clothing and is dispersed in that manner. Or animals go through it and track it to different locations. Those that don't get tracked to different locations get dropped to the ground and germinate. While it is considered native, it definitely grows generously. It is absolutely horrific. It is allelopathic in nature, meaning that it exudes different hormones from its root system that inhibit the growth of other plants and prevent the seedlings from germinating. Once it colonizes an area, it lays out the allelopathic hormone and it takes over and displaces the native growth that was there. While it is dispersed prominently throughout the Southwest, it tends to take over disturbed soils and places where man takes over. It has a lot better chance of taking over before grass does, that's for sure. Parthenosinus quinquefolia, commonly known as Virginia creeper, is a relative of poison ivy with 5 leaflets instead of 3, and not nearly as irritating to the skin, but can affect those with severe sensitivity. Listed as native to Florida by IFAS, it has a wide distribution in the southeast and beyond. It bears flowers and berries that are a natural wildlife food, but that also serves to widely distribute the seeds in bird and animal droppings. Furthermore, it has the capacity to climb nearly anything, prefers to be vertical, but will grow prostrate when forced to, and will compete for nutrients and sunlight when it is allowed to grow unchecked in trees. These are tendrils. Yep, they reach out and they are going to grab a hold of the plant or the wall or whatever. It depends on what they're grabbing a hold of, and attach it to it. I don't see.
There's one.
Oh yeah.
There's one.
Okay. Yeah, there are adventitious roots coming from the nodes. That's an adventitious root. Much different than the tendrils that it puts up, that are all spirally. The muscadine grapevine, Vitis rotundifolia, it's dispersed through animal droppings. It takes over whole tree systems. It does grow generously, though. Right. The main thing we want to point out about the muscadine grapevine is the fact that it's dioecious, meaning that it has male and female vines. The male vines have an incomplete pistil. The female parts are, if not completely gone, they are just minuscule. Whereas the female plants have an incomplete stamen and do not produce pollen. So you require one to cross-pollinate the other and therefore proliferate. But the female vine is the only one that produces fruit. But that fruit is in turn eaten by birds and taken downrange, proliferating the spread of the vine.
We gotta get
Shennis terabithifolia, Brazilian pepper tree, was introduced to Florida in the 1840s. It is a class 1 invasive. It can be mistaken for a holly tree, but a holly tree looks like this. You have the veins running 45 degrees to the midrib, and the fruit is slightly larger. On a Brazilian pepper, they are much closer to being perpendicular to the midrib, and the fruit size is much smaller. So you can see the difference in the leaf right there. They have a tendency to take over entire areas. They spread out and take over. They are highly invasive. Each one of these berries is a viable seed. This, my friends, is Dioscorea bulbifera. It is a C4 photosynthesis nightmare. This grows 8 to 10 inches every day. It shows indeterminate growth and takes over entire areas. As you can see up in here, it's all through this tree. It is all through here, and it will continue to grow until it's taken care of. Dioscorea bulbifera is originating in tropical Asia, but it's commonly known as air potato. It is called air potato because of the tuberous roots that it has and the fact that it puts potatoes into the air. A potato out of the air. This is a very poor example, but this is how it proliferates. These drop to the ground, become a brand new vine. It was introduced in 1905, right around the corner in Gotha, Florida. Air potato has been listed as one of the most invasive species since 1993 and placed on the Florida noxious weed list in 1999 because of its ability to displace natives and disrupt natural processes. They can grow more than 70 feet with harp-shaped, deep green leaves with veins rising from the leaf base. As you can see, all of the veins come from that center spot on the leaf. It's a very distinctive leaf, heart-shaped, and a very distinct veinal pattern. It propagates via the potato-like tubers below and above the ground, which are quite toxic and only serve to spread the species. They are toxic to cattle, they are toxic to humans. Even small pieces of the tuber can produce a new vine.
Well, that concludes our tour. I hope you learned a lot about invasive plants in our area and are encouraged to find out more for yourself. I have enjoyed the presentation, and I hope you have as well.